In order to be a conscious creator, to go from unconscious to conscious, to go from simply roaming the world, existing in a space where you don't feel like you have much control, toward really understanding that you are the master, you are the creator of your universe, and therefore you can create any reality that you want. It's very important to understand the power of focus. You see, focus is one of those things that we often take for granted. We often think it only applies to a particular task, but ultimately, focus is the ability to direct your energy, to direct your mind toward not the problem, but more so the solution. And what I want to go with you throughout this series is exactly how to master your focus and direct your focus toward manifesting, materializing, and creating the things that you want in life. In order for you to actually tap into, to unfold, to reveal who you truly are. It's important to understand that focus is something that we use in order to direct your mind power, to direct your consciousness toward that which it desires. Now, you do so by utilizing your mind. Your mind is a problem solver, right? Your mind is an ultimate strategist. It is designed to look for patterns, look for situations, look for ideas, right? Creativity. It is made to absolutely figure out a way, anyway. And when you are really tapped into how powerful your mind is, you truly understand that there are infinite ways toward creating that what you want. So when you understand that focus is in fact the ability toward directing your energy and your attention toward a particular thing, then you recognize the power of it and why you need to master it when it comes to materializing and manifesting the things that you want. So understand that usually when we experience focus, we don't really recognize that's what it is, right? Things like when you are wearing your favorite sweater and you instantly notice other people who are wearing the same or similar sweaters. When you're driving your dream car, right? And you are driving down the highway, you always recognize cars of that same make, model, or color. All right. Even when you're not driving your dream car, but you have your dream car, you recognize and see that car everywhere. It almost seems like everybody has that car, right? If you are looking to attract a relationship and you're working on building yourself up to be the perfect partner, so that way you can attract the perfect partner, then you notice a lot of people in perfect relationships, right? So you have to understand that even when you think that these things are happening, right, coincidentally, they are not. They're happening because you are focused on them more so than anything else. When you're focused on something, you begin to, your mind anyway, begins to identify that thing or something similar to it in the outside world. This is a part of how you essentially co-create with the vast grand universe. The vast grand universe is doing its own thing. Everybody is creating and living their own reality, creating their own universe. But because there is a bridge between your universe and their universe, you get to witness certain aspects of their universe. Now, part of the exchange that happens between your universe and their universe is recognizing the similarities, sometimes even recognizing the differences. But when you are focused on creating something, when you are desiring something, when you want something, most times you are focused on that thing in such a way that you recognize that in others. That's why it's very important to acknowledge things like the law of association, right? When you are somebody who has a goal, you have something to achieve, right? Whether it be finances, whether it be fitness, anything, to find a community of people like minded. So that way you both can essentially build each other up. You can recognize the things that you desire, and then you can help to focus your minds, right, in sync with one another toward that particular goal. But usually, though, it doesn't encompass interacting with anybody directly, but really just witnessing and watching what's going on outside of you and identifying the things outside of you that actually are things that you desire for yourself, you see? So it is your intention, your attention that is really helping you to see the things outside of you that you desire. That is focus. Okay. And then you're putting energy towards it because you are acknowledging it. You're saying, okay, that is it. That is exactly the thing that I want. You are reinforcing it in your mind as yours, right? Because you are stating and living it out in your mind. You are imagining, you are visualizing it. And therefore, even when you see that thing, you feel a sense of accomplishment. You feel a sense of, yes, that's it. That's mine, right? That's my car. That's my ideal relationship. That's my ideal lifestyle, right? And you're inspired by it. Sometimes, though, the ego can come in, whisper some negativity in your ear, and some insecurities come in. That is when you have to manage your ego. But essentially, that initial spark is ultimately your consciousness by way of your mind, using your mind, your brain, to actually direct its attention toward that which you wish to create. So you have to be mindful about that. You have to be mindful about how you are identifying those things, how you are associating yourself with those things. And if you are even talking yourself out of having those things, it's very important to recognize exactly what happens to you along the way of witnessing and experiencing, seeing that which you desire, even though you're not seeing it, you know, you're seeing it from somebody else's point of view or somebody else's reality. Okay. So focusing though, like the ego does, it tends to focus on the problem, right? It tends to focus on the whatnots and why you don't have it, right? Or why you can't have it, or your insecurities or your lack of skills currently. You have to recognize that when you focus on the problem, right? When you focus on the lack of not having something, it amplifies you not having it because that is ultimately focus. Whatever it is that you're focusing on amplifies it in your mind. And your mind then looks for it. Your mind then looks for evidence of it. It looks for confirmation of it. So your job is to direct the mind toward which way to look, which way to focus. Because if you are only focusing on the lack thereof, not having, not having the resources, right? Not having the skill sets, not having the access to, then you will continue to see that and experience that. But if you are focusing on what you do have, if you are focusing on your desire to have it and you are visualizing yourself having it, then that is all you need to begin the process of getting and accumulating all that which you should have or will have in order for you to manifest it. You see, so you have to start now with what you have. When you start now, when you are focused on the goal, right? Not so much focused on, I wish I could, I wish I had, not focused on, I wish I was able to, but focused on it already being yours, then you can start with what you have, acknowledge, okay, I have this right now, I can do this right now, and then you do it, focusing again on the result. And you are in motion, right? You are putting attention and energy together that then sets you on the path of finding out what the next step is. It sets you on a path of allowing the universe, the grand consciousness, that which you are one with, to actually support you and give you the next step when it is time, right? When it is time to present itself. Usually that's whenever you're done with that first step, whatever you're doing at the current moment, when you are complete with that, usually the next thing will manifest itself to help you and support you along your path. Remember, the universe is not against you. You don't simply live and exist in this universe. Life is not happening to you, it's happening from you. Life is a result of what you put out there. Life is a result of how you are leading it. So you must understand that though, yes, you may feel at this current moment there are limitations to what you can do. But if you acknowledge that you are one with the infinite source, the infinite power, the infinite intelligence, then you know that somewhere you have the information. Somewhere you have access to it. You just simply have to have faith, trust in that, and just simply keep moving. Do what you can right now, and then continue moving forward, and everything else will reveal itself. So, your job is to understand this a solution oriented mindset when it comes to manifestation. If you are not focusing on the solution, okay, then you are focusing on the problem. It's just that simple because you will always be in a space where you are wishing one day you will do this. One day, right? One day. I wish I can. I will. I will try. All these ways of thinking that actually keep you stagnant, but tricks you into believing that it'll happen. But there is no it'll happen. There is only it happening now. There is only this is what you are doing. This is what you are working on. Okay. Take out words like trying, take out words like wish, right? Take out words like I will. You either are doing it or you are not. So focus on the solution and focus not only on just imagining the solution, thinking about the solution, you have to be in movement with the solution. So you have to be focused on, again, what can you do now? No matter how bootstrapped it is, no matter how ghetto it is, no matter how much of a hack you're working on as far as just figuring out and getting things in motion, you must do it. Okay. Because eventually that will get better, that will improve. Eventually, the universe will recognize your tenacity, your focus, your persistence, and it will understand, okay, this is something that you truly desire. And therefore, your mind will open up and see a range of infinite possibilities of which direction you can go to actually create that thing. But you must focus on that which you want. You must focus on the solutions. Usually, that which you want is the other spectrum of what you currently have, right? You desire it because you're not experiencing yet, but you know that that desire resonates with who you truly are. And because we're not truly living our true selves, it is okay to recognize that, hey, this is something I desire. Desiring doesn't mean that you're coming from a lack mentality. Now, if you think about the words want, usually want can be associated with the ego and the superficial wanting, of desire. But ultimately, when you really resonate and connect with something, you see it as something that really touches your soul, right? So that thing you really want to identify as your purpose, as something that you just can't see yourself without, right? It is haunting you, it is always there. And when you are dialed into that, then you recognize, hey, okay, this is something that's meant for me. This is something that I'm meant for, I'm made for. And when you recognize that, then you must commit and set a position, a GPS, focused direction toward that thing. You must be tunnel vision, you must be focused on it, and you must acknowledge that though you don't have all of the solutions and all of the steps laid out, that you must work toward getting as close as you can to it. And every time you get closer to it, you will get a little bit more wisdom, knowledge, education toward what you can do next to get you closer and closer until you finally materialize that which you desire. So focus first on staying consistent with thinking about the solution, thinking about what you can do now. All of the rest will follow. When you are complete and you are focused on what you can do now, you must understand that it is not about the result of it happening. Remember that the journey is more important than the destination. So as you materialize this thing, right? As you allow it to gestate and grow because you have decided that is what it is, enjoy the process because enjoying the process is one of those things that's just often, really said, but it's hard to truly experience it. So I want to invite you as you begin this journey of focus, that you sit in the present moment of allowing yourself to enjoy the journey. because this journey is really about opening yourself up to who you truly are. This journey is really about recognizing that you are a creator, recognizing your absolute truth. Okay. And when you recognize absolute truth, what comes with that is absolute happiness, bliss, and fulfillment. So let's focus on the solution. And when you focus on the solution and only the solution will happen and materialize. Thank you so much. Feel free to go to drabundant.com, subscribe to my newsletter, get this free ebook, and so much more. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.